Hi, everyone. Good morning and welcome to today's job workshop. My name is Karen. I'm the Adult Program Coordinator at the Downers Grove Library. A couple of quick things. We do ask that you keep your microphone muted during the presentation. Feel free to add questions into the chat box, and we will get to the questions at the end. The program is being recorded, but any of the personal questions that get asked at the end will be edited out. So we won't be sharing those out there. In 2 weeks, we will have our next job workshop. And that one is learning how to work in a multi-generational and multicultural workplace. So hopefully you can register for that one. In the meantime, I would like to turn this over to Paul Lewis. He is the job coach coordinator at the People's Resource Center.
Thanks so much, Karen. I really appreciate it. And welcome to today's workshop, everybody. My name is Paul Lewis. I'm the Director of Adult Education and Employment. So I just got that title, so I'm still having trouble memorizing it. So, but we're really excited to have everybody here today. So just a couple quick guidelines to make this workshop a smooth experience. If you could go ahead and mute your microphone so we don't have any background noise while the presenters are presenting the workshop. We'd love to see your face. It's always easier for us to see the faces of those that we're presenting to. It makes us think that we're back in person, which hopefully we'll get back to here sometime this century. So if you're able to turn on your video, we'd love to be able to see your face. And like Karen said, if you have any questions throughout the program, you can just put them in the chat, or we can have time for questions and answers at the end. Best viewing experience, you just go to view options and go to side-by-side mode. That'll give you the ability to see the video of the person presenting and the material that's being presented. As Karen said, everything is confidential, so we will edit out the parts at the end if we're talking to you about questions. And if you want to share your story, we'll make sure that those do not end up in the presentation. The workshop is being recorded, so you can disregard that line. And of course, we thank Karen for working with us. So I want to give everybody a little bit of a quick background about the People's Resource Center. So we offer a variety of different empowerment services and basic services free of charge to PRC clients living in DuPage County. So we have our food pantry, which runs out of our Wheaton and Westmont locations. There's food pantry hours multiple times a week. It is a curbside pickup model currently, where you just pull up your car, we put the groceries in, and you're on your way. It's no touch and it's very safe. We have our adult learning and literacy empowerment programs, our job assistance, computer training and access. So if you're in need of computer training skills, if you need a refurbished computer, if you need English language learning, we have conversation circles. So lots of different opportunities to interact with PRC and our wonderful volunteers. So if you just go to our website, peoplesrc.org, you'll see the most up-to-date list of the programs and services we are offering and where we're offering them. It does change constantly. We were in the process of opening back up, and then we had to kind of reclose to the public, and now we're hopefully trying to open back up, which is going to change some of the times and services we're able to allow. Our closed closet is also currently closed, but should be reopening soon on an appointment basis. Of course, our job assistance, but I always like to point out our computer training and access as a great supplement to our job assistance services. We do have a self-paced Microsoft Office certification, which you can do on your own, but we also have training classes for Microsoft Office as well. So if you're interested in enhancing or improving your computer skills and want to have something that you can put on your resume that will help you stand out, always like to recommend checking out our computer training and access services. Our job assistance program. So we offer a variety of different job search services to PRC clients. So these jobs workshops being one of them, we host these job workshops all over DuPage County and other libraries as well throughout the month. So we work with Downers Grove, but we also work with a lot of other libraries in DuPage County. They are all currently virtual, but we're hoping to get back to some in-person workshops here. Like I said, this century, I hope, but hopefully the next few months. So some other services that we offer in job assistance are one-to-one individualized mentoring. So clients are matched with a job coach who can meet you where you're at with your job search and help you with practicing interviewing, where you can apply for jobs. So we can help you apply for jobs and also help you search the internet and find different job boards and things that might have jobs that you're interested in. We have a team of resume writers that can help you develop a resume and cover letter, or even just update an old one if you have that. We also have some great assessment tools that you can use to assess your skills in a particular career industry and help you see if you have the skills needed to be successful, or if there's a couple additional skills or certifications that you need to be competitive to get a job in that industry. We also have a PRC online job board, which I update weekly with jobs that are available in DuPage County. So I work with a lot of employers who send me their open jobs, which I post on the job board. So if you're looking to see what's available near you, it covers a wide range of careers and industries, entry level, management level, senior level. So there's jobs, all sorts of jobs in there. So that is free to access for PRC clients. So without further ado, I want to introduce you both, or actually both, there's quite a few people on here now. So Rhonda is one of our resume writers and Charles is one of our job coaches, and they're going to be presenting to you today on identifying your skills and accomplishments.
Thank you, Paul. So identifying skills and accomplishments. This is a good way to get started looking for your next position. So today our goals is we're really going to be talking about how you can put your best foot forward, and so that you're prepared to tell your story. And most importantly, you'll have a lot of confidence, and you'll be able to exude confidence and enthusiasm to a prospective employer. Talking about accomplishments can be challenging, but once we figure out your accomplishments and your skills, it'll be just second nature, and you'll just boom, 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 boom. So most importantly, we're going to focus on writing or creating these skills and accomplishments, or accomplishments, I should say, to give you confidence in your job search. So when we're talking about accomplishments, we really need to remember that we're not talking about job duties. So a job duty is what you did, and an accomplishment is how well you did it. So there's differences there, and we're going to focus on those today. And just getting started in a job search, information gathering, that's critical, and part of that information gathering is focusing on your accomplishments and your skills. And then prepare your story. We're going to talk about that today. And then matching your skills with skills that a prospective employer is looking for. And then how to put it all together for a successful job search. So at the action stage, at the very beginning, identify your target position and the industry. Maybe you're looking to kind of stay in the same type of position, but with a different employer. Maybe you're thinking about, moving from hospitality to bookkeeping, but you got to identify your target position and employer. And when you're doing this research on employers, you have to learn about the employer, maybe what their mission is, how many employees they have, and all, what they do. So really do this research, which will help you in your job search. Filling out an employment application. This is, we're going to kind of go over that, but it's very important to have this information handy. We're going to talk about using ONET, which is a website published by the U.S. Department of Labor, and it is a treasure trove of information. We're going to talk about power statements, your power statements today, and then SAR statements, which are situation, action, and results. And we're going to show you why and how these are important for your for a successful job search. We're going to talk about the me in 30 seconds, your elevator pitch. And that's going to be the first question employer is going to ask you. Tell me about yourself. So we're going to talk about that today too. And so matching your job skills and your accomplishments with the position. And so once you get all of this information gathered, you will be ready to talk to prospective employers and update your LinkedIn page if you have one. So information gathering, this is what we're talking about, information gathering. It will help you identify your career search and prospective employers. It will help you create a summary that you can use on your resume as well as your cover letters. It will also provide the information you need to develop your me in 30 seconds. And so this information gathering stage is what we're going to be focusing on today, and how it all comes together for us. So here's a typical sample, or I should say a typical job application. And if you would like to have a blank job application, Paul can send you one via email. But we want to stress the importance of completing this job application because it has it contains information that you're going to need over and over. So as an example, maybe you're using Indeed.com and you find a job that you want to apply for, you want to be considered for. One of the first things you're going to have to do is complete a job application. So by completing this job application, as you're preparing for your job search, you will have all this information ready to go. And importantly, like on work history, these job applications always ask for the name of the employer, the address, the phone number. So try to have all that information together in one place, and it will make your job search go much more smoothly and quickly. Now we have a note here about salary. Beginning in 2019, I believe, in Illinois, employers are not allowed to ask about your salary history. Now, those are for state-based employers. So if you're maybe considering a job with Mariano's, that's a national company. And so they may be able to ask you about your employment or your salary history. But just keep that in mind that you, for an Illinois-based employer, you do not have to disclose salary. But here is a list of the items that are included on a job application. And again, it's so important to gather this information and have it handy, so it will help you with your job search. And finally, just a quick note too about references, the last item on our list here. Always contact your references and get their permission and let them know that you would like to use them as a reference. And if you fill out an application, you should let your references know that they could be contacted by a prospective employer. And then importantly, keep your references up to date and informed about your job search. And your references are going to be part of your network. So keep them informed and stay in touch with them. So this is the website we mentioned on our earlier slide, ONET. And this website contains so much information, and it's so valuable in terms of trying to help you decide maybe what type of position to look for, and then how to be able to describe your skills and your abilities to apply for these jobs. So you can search for information on ONET by occupation. You could even, excuse me, search by skills. Maybe you are a Microsoft Office specialist. Well, you could go to the ONET and page and search for Microsoft Office specialist occupations and get this whole list of different positions. And so you can find out like the experience, education required. And so this type of information can really help you focus on your skills and your abilities and how you can transfer that information to your resume, into your power statements, into your Me in 30 Seconds. So this is a very valuable resource. And I'll just make a comment too here that there's a lot of websites out there that maybe have similar information. And if you want to use a different website, that's good. But I just want to emphasize that you could spend a lot of time, going from one website to the other website and back and forth. And so it would be better to just kind of focus on one website so that you could become familiar with it, and it'll be a much more valuable tool for you during your job search. So the next slide, Paul, is these are the categories of information that are presented for hundreds and hundreds of occupations on this ONET website. And the information is sort of categorized, if you will, into tasks, technology skills, tools, knowledge, skills, abilities, detailed work activities, the work context, work values, related occupations. So there's just all this information that's available, and spend some time taking a look at positions that you're considering and take a look at all this information. And this will really help give you a sense of the information that you need to gather and that you will need to convey to a prospective employer. And I just want to, before we go to the next slide, I just want to mention there's a term here that ONET uses called job zone. And I think typically we think of zones as geographic areas. But in this particular case on ONET, job zone is actually describes education requirements. So the first one is maybe some high school. The second job zone is a high school diploma plus some extra training. And then number 4, the fourth job zone is a bachelor's degree. And then 5, the last job zone, is a bachelor's degree plus some graduate education. So keep that in mind when you're taking a look at these job zones, okay? The next slide, Paul. So the hierarchy of telling your story, we're going to start at the bottom today, power statements. And then we'll move into SAR statements, the situation, action, results statements. And then finally, at the apex, you have all this together and you can do your me in 30 seconds. So your power statements will identify skills and strengths and accomplishments that you want to highlight in your employment objectives and your summary. And you're going to give us an example of that skill in your power statement.
Down the scroll there.
And make sure that your statement is consistent with the needs and goals
Let me see
for
your
the position that you're applying for. So here at the bottom of the slide, we have an example of a power statement. As a purchasing manager, it's important for me to be accurate and attentive. So those are two skills, accurate and attentive. And discovered a mistake on a spreadsheet and was able to save the company $5,000. Now that is a big accomplishment, and this is a very good example of a power statement. So the next slide, Paul. So how do your skills and accomplishments set you apart from other candidates? Again, we want to emphasize, do not focus on job duties, must focus on accomplishments. And here we have some examples of, I worked on, I am proficient in Excel and Microsoft Word. I received my certification from Microsoft. Here's another example. I've been told I'm a team player. And then turning that into an accomplishment, my team of 6 received the President's Top Department Performance Award in 2019. So you can see how we can turn these accomplishments into power statements. So I have a couple other examples. A job duty followed up with customers, turning that into an accomplishment, initiated discussions of new product information during routine follow-up calls with customers, which resulted in 200 additional sales per month. So it's not just following up with customers, it's also about increasing sales. Here's another job duty, worked in a call center. Turn that into a power statement and an accomplishment. Quickly responded to customer needs by answering 99% of incoming calls within 3 rings. So you can see how that job duty becomes an accomplishment. For the next slide, Paul. So this is a list of words, we call them power words, that you want to include in your power statements, in your me in 30 seconds, and on your resume. So ability to work with others, collaborative, dedicated, dependable. So you can see, just kind of glancing at this list, these are some examples of power words that you will want to use and incorporate into writing your accomplishments. So here we're going to go over some examples of power statements and accomplishments. So this first one, received a promotion. That's a big accomplishment. So I needed to improve my bookkeeping skills. So I completed a QuickBooks certification. So at the bottom of the first column there, those are the skills or traits needed to, for this accomplishment: initiative, motivated, and adaptable. And so that's how you can turn those power verbs into your accomplishment statements. So the second one here, the company was updating its processes. I took courses in Excel and Word so that I could really help participate in the whole process of changing procedures. And so as examples for this particular person, a personal drive, teachable, and commitment. So those are some skills that this person needs to use to describe their accomplishments and their power statements. So on the last example here, my role as a receptionist was expanded, so I could fill in other departments. So ability to work with others, being flexible, and being organized. So those are the skills that can help you focus on changing your job duties into accomplishments. So the next slide, this is sort of an empty form, but we just want to give you an idea of how you organize your information and put it all together to write your skills, or I'm sorry, to write your accomplishments and your power statements. So Charles is going to talk to us now about the SAR approach.
Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you. Everything that Rhonda has just spoken to you about, it all relates to marketing. All of those statements, power statements, we're going to get into some more of that. It's all about marketing yourself. So that's, if you keep that in mind, marketing is, there's resume is a marketing piece. The interview is also marketing. And you want to be marketing correctly. You want to be marketing yourself as the one that stands up from all the other candidates. That's really the focus of where we're going with this today. All right, the SAR approach, these are typically going to be questions that are going to be asked of you in an interview. And it may start out like this. It may say, Rhonda, tell me about a time that you made a mistake. Tell me about a time that you had a trouble with a customer or a dissatisfied customer. Or it may be, did this ever happen to you? There's many different ways to start out that phrase, but what they're getting to is, give me an example, give me the situation, and these you have to have prepared in advance. If you wait till you're at the interview, you're not going to be able to execute well with this. They're asking you, give me the situation. Then what they expect you to say is, here was the situation. Here was the action I took to resolve it. And the result, the result, you certainly want something with a positive result. If it was a negative result, that's not going to be one that you'll want to use with the SAR. If you can put numbers in there, that's even better. So let's move the next slide and we can give you an example here. There's two here. I'm not going to read both of them, but let's do the first one. There was a disagreement I had with a coworker which originated from a miscommunication. To keep our work environment professional and positive, we had to discuss it and make amends. I sat down with him one day during lunch, paid for our meal, smart person, and took initiative by apologizing for my part in the whole ordeal. Took responsibility, not just, no, it's your fault. Okay, what happened? Now we work well together and are often praised for our impressive teamwork. Very good example. So this is really the whole thing. The situation, disagreement. The action I took this person out to lunch and paid for their lunch. But not just paying for the lunch, that's like a bonus thing. Took the person out to lunch and discussed it, communicated. And most things are, in that first sentence, miscommunication. That's kind of like the bane of our world. I say something and Rhonda hears something else. And so Rhonda's mad at me, but I didn't say what she thought she heard. So miscommunication, pretty common. Go out to lunch, and then the result. After that lunch, we were able to work well together. Pretty impressive. Praised for our impressive teamwork. That's a great example. That's really where you want to go with this. And I will tell you, probably, I'm going to take a guess here. A third of the questions you're going to be asked in an interview are behavioral questions, and that's really what SAR is. Situation, action, result, those are behavioral. Tell me about a time. I'm being repetitive because we learn through repetition. Tell me about a time. Did this ever happen to you? Tell me about the worst supervisor you've ever had. Tell me if you have any weaknesses. Oh, no, I'm perfect. I have no weaknesses. That's not the right answer, by the way. But yeah, very, very important. Let's move on to the next slide. All right, and this is a pretty simple form. You write down, here's the situation, and this takes some reflection. It might have happened 5, 10, 15 years ago. A good example of this, and really what you want to do, if you can, have 2 or 3 in your mind, because you want to be prepared. And you might pick, and let's say you have 3, there might be one that fits best to the job you're looking at. It might relate best out of the 3. So you may pick one of the 3, you may not use the other 2, but try to have multiple versions of this. Situate, again, being repetitive. What's the situation? What action did you take? What the result? Quantify with number of percentages. Metrics are a great thing. If you can put down, like this person, they had a miscommunication, went to lunch and everything went well afterwards, and we worked so well together, sales increased 50%. That would be wonderful if you could do something like that. Metrics, numbers, percentages, very, very important. And it's anything like that. And it's not just dollars, not just sales, by the way. It can certainly be an administrative that the processing time was reduced by 50% due to the QuickBooks course you took, or due to the Excel workshop that you took at PRC in the computer area. That would be wonderful too. Processing time, you can quantify pretty much anything, quite frankly, if you think about it. Let's move on to the next. All right, Rhonda spoke briefly about this. This is the me in 30 seconds speech, and all it really relates to, imagine you're in a building with an elevator and you get in, and the hiring manager, lo and behold, that you're going to meet with is in the elevator with you, and the hiring manager says, Rhonda, tell me a little about yourself before we get off at the 3rd floor. Well, Rhonda's got to speak quick. She's got 30 seconds, and hopefully it's a slow moving elevator and she gets a full 30 seconds. What you're going to do there, what's important to the interviewer? It's not your life story. It's not what's on your resume. It's not that I had a great piece of apple pie at this restaurant down the street. That's nice, but that's not what they're interested in. They're interested in why are you a fit? Why should I even interview you? Why are you here? That's really what they want to find out. So you're talking about your experiences and proven success. Proven success goes a long way. People that are typically successful continue in success. They're motivated. And any successes you can bring up, and we all have successes. I'm not just saying this is limited to a certain special group of people. We all have successes. Some may be that you think are bigger than others, but all successes are important. So you'll want to get into that. You're unique. That word unique is very important. Mention your unique strengths and abilities. If you have something really unique about you, and we'll talk about that in the next few slides, that's something you might want to put in that 30-second speech. And you can conclude it. And again, this is short. This is not rambling. It's concise. A statement about your current situation. And the next slide will help us give us some examples. So next slide, Paul. All right, 3 examples. All right, let's go with the middle one. I'm a friendly, this is an elevator speech. This is me or Rhonda getting in the elevator and, hey, I'm the hiring manager, go for it. So why are you, tell me about yourself before we do the interview. That's going to be, it's kind of like an icebreaker. I don't say 100%, but it's pretty darn common that they're going to ask you this question. It allows you to warm up a little bit before you get into the harder SAR type of questions. So you have to be ready with this, and you have to practice it, and you have to be comfortable with it. All right. I'm a friendly, dedicated customer service associate with over 5 years experience in retail sales. Right there, let's assume it's a retail sales position. That's why you should be talking to me. I have 5 years of experience, not 1 week. I have 5 years. College graduate, and I volunteer weekly at the People Resource Center in the food pantry, assisting clients with their food selections. Okay, what does that say? It says that you graduated college, you're a college graduate, certainly a plus, I assume, for this position, and that you like helping people. Volunteering goes to helping others. And when you like helping people, it's not just helping people with the food at PRC. If you're helpful, you're going to help your coworkers. If they have a problem or an issue or some way you can help them, you're going to help them. You're a helpful person. That's what that line says. And then here's a good word, my passion. People are comfortable saying love and passion, but this is a great word to use. I like to use it several times during the interview process, but certainly in me in 30 seconds, it's pretty good. My passion is to provide excellent customer service. It's not just a job. It's not just, hey, my rent is coming due and I've been unemployed and the unemployment is running out, so I need a job. That's not gonna work if you say anything like that. Your last line should be similar to this: passion to provide excellent customer service. This is a customer service job. Will make me the type of employee you want in your organization. What does an organization really want? Do they want an expense where you sit there and collect your paycheck, but you're not very productive? That's an expense. It's like, probably not. That's not like on their, number one thing they want to do in hiring somebody. They want to hire an asset. You want to be the asset, not that expense. And this is just a little short introduction to me in 30 seconds. So that's the idea. And we'll move on from that slide, Paul. All right. And again, because it is important, this is maybe a little repetitive, but I think, that this can be helpful for you. Personal introduction, your career objective, type of position you want, your experience. This person did it with their 5 years retail experience. If you can give 2 or 3 accomplishments, again, not job duties. It can't be, yes, I was in retail sales and I used a scanner and I processed, and I took cash from people. Those are duties. Those are duties, not accomplishments. And if you said you were in retail sales, for example, they pretty much know what you did. You don't need to state it. But if you have accomplishments related to that, that's where you want to put them in. And unique, that word unique, I tell you, this is very important kind of a thing. Really unique means, again, repetitive, but I am not your standard applicant. I am above because of this unique skill I have. And the close, the value. Yeah, I'm not going to be an expense for you. I'm going to be an asset. And you don't have to say that. What you want to say is something along the lines of, I feel I can really be you can say, I feel I can really be an asset to your organization due to my unique skills and accomplishments. And you can close on that point. Next. All right, matching skills and accomplishments to job requirements. This is, I would say, critical, because let's talk about your skills and accomplishments. If you apply for a job and you don't have the skills and accomplishments, you know what will happen? You'll hear nothing. The applicant tracking system, the robot that looks at your resume or your application before it goes to anybody, is going to just send it to the computer black hole and you'll never hear anything. And it's like, gee, I've applied for 30 things and never heard back. So this is very critical. The whole thing of matching, very critical. And first of all, decide if the job will showcase your talents in a meaningful way, visually see how you fit into the role. And I will tell you, people, I think this is human nature. They look at a job description, oh, this sounds like a neat thing to do, or this would be fun, or oh, this pays well, and they apply for it. But guess what? You don't really fit into the role. Why would I apply for a role, you know, as I don't know, as a steel worker? I know nothing about it. Heights don't particularly, you know, make for a thrilling time for me, so I wouldn't apply for it. But people do apply for many positions that they don't really fit into the role. And your talents may be wonderful, but they're, I won't say worthless, but they're not very helpful to this employer. They may not be what we call transferable or relatable skills. There are transferable skills, a lot of them. There are relatable skills that you can use from one occupation to another. And at PRC, we do get many people that we assist that change careers. And that's when we really get into, okay, here were your skills, where other than in your present occupation are those skills used. So now, first of all, do you want the job? Do you fit? Why waste your time applying? Why get your hopes up? Why say, well, gee, I applied for 3 things today, but you weren't qualified for any of them? Seems kind of silly to me. But after you match once you match your skills, then you can change your cover letter. A cover letter, by the way, is a short letter that can be attached typically to your application, send it in with your resume. And again, it's short, 10, 12 sentences total, that it's things not in your resume, something to kind of perk their interest, maybe even a little hook, I would say. Keep in mind, and I'll get off topic 1 second here, marketing. If you think about it, how do merchandisers market their products? They want to put a hook in there, like you go to the store and it says new and improved, like, well, this will make your life easier. Those are the hooks. Or free, there's a real hook for you. That's all in marketing. And I'm not comparing anyone here to a box of detergent, but they do put that new and improved on there because they're hooks, and your marketing has to include some of these things. So let's move to the next slide. And see, here I'll pick out a couple examples. For example, the next slide after this will give you an example. This is what's called a T-square. On one side, you put what does the employer want, and where do you get that? Off of the job description. And it says must be proficient at using Microsoft Office applications. And how about you? Well, you're pretty good with it. You've used Microsoft Office to create PowerPoint presentations, document marketing materials in Word, and to compute customer data in Excel. I would say if you have, that's you're pretty good. And if you just put down here, well, I'm proficient in using Microsoft Office applications, you're missing the forest for the trees, really, because you're way above proficient in using Microsoft Office applications. You stand out because of these extras you can do: PowerPoint, marketing, doing marketing materials, computing customer data in Excel. You're above proficient. So that's where you put on the other side. And I'll pick 1 or 2 more out of this. 2 to 5 years experience in a similar role, preferably at a software company. Well, you have 4 years combined experience marketing roles within various software companies. So you're right in there. Last one, excellent communication and interpersonal skills. Those are called soft skills, as most of you know, compared to hard skills. Hard skills are your education, your computer certifications, licenses, certifications, things like that. They're asking for excellent communication. Well, I'll tell you, again, you're above the line here with experience in public speaking through Toastmasters, courses taken in communications. I would say if you if you just think of yourself as excellent communication, no, you're better than that. So let's move to the next slide. And again, this is all you have to do. Where do you get this from? The job description. What does the employer want? And Rhonda spoke at length about onetonline.org. I use it all the time. I've been a job coach for 5 years, and I will tell you, it's a very safe site. You don't have to register. You don't need a password to remember that, like what was that password? You don't need to register. You just go to that onetonline.org. You'll never get an email, never get spam by them. So it's a pretty safe thing to use. From that site, you can also find out, let's say there's a short job description. Well, you go to ONET and you can get a list, a really exhaustive list of what in that job category, what do you do? Well, you're going to find a lot of things that are not on that job description. Job descriptions are 1 page typically, and the ONET, you may get 2, 3, 4 pages of information about that occupation, and you might add them to the side of employer skills, assuming you have them. Those are, again, relatable, even though they're not listed. Job description will never tell you 100% of what you're going to do in a day. I guarantee you. You're not going to know 100%, obviously, until you start the job. But go through this exercise, and I will give you a little warning here. I've had clients that have not applied for positions, and I ask why. What's going on? Well, I don't match the job skill, the square like this. I only had 80%. I didn't match 100%. They wanted a 4-year degree. I had a 2-year degree. Keep in mind that job description, it's an employer's wish list. That if you have exactly what they're looking for, boy, I would say 100% in to get the job, but you're going to be an easy hire for that company. These are wish lists, and they do deviate from their job requirements very, very regularly. So don't be intimidated. Don't worry if you don't match 100%. Very few people do, by the way. If you get 60, 70, 80%, go for it. If you get 10, 20, 30%, move on. Look for some other company, some other industry. Next. All right. We keep talking about unique, and I really like unique people, because unique people you remember more compared to people that are just, I don't know how to say this, average. You want to be the above average, the unique person. And using better language in your power statement that Rhonda spoke about, in your resume, using power words, supercharged words, as we talk about here, it's going to raise you up. And I will tell you, a lot of media today, their messages are at a 6th grade level. And we use a lot of 6th grade words, and that would be the undifferentiated. The power words are not 6th grade words. They could be high school or college level type vocabulary. Use these words. And I'll give you an example. Everybody likes, question is, how do you work with us? Oh, I'm a team player. That's in an interview. Well, okay. They say that at McDonald's, and I love McDonald's, by the way. I'm not being negative about it, but that's team player. Everybody's a team player in the whole wide world. But if you say, I'm very collaborative, I love collaborating with my co-workers. Well, collaborating is more than a 6th grade word. And you snap up just intelligence, or if you're not intelligent, but your vocabulary level snaps up, and it's a much more powerful word. I'm a problem solver. You could say it another way. I'm a problem solver. I'm collaborative. And everybody likes to think they're a hard worker. And I hear this, yeah, I'm a hard worker. I started off me in 30 seconds by saying I'm a hard worker. Well, employers expect hard workers. They don't, if you say, no, I'm not a hard worker, I like to work 3 minutes out of each hour. Well, good luck with that. What you want to say instead of hard worker, I go the extra mile. I'm resourceful. And there's a whole laundry list here, and they're all They're all great words. Use power words and customer oriented. Oh, I'm customer oriented in sales or in customer service type position. Customer focused, that's saying I really put the focus on customer. Just changing that word oriented to focus goes a long way. These are all great words to use. So next slide. All right. And what do? We want to put it together in an interview. And here was this person that was applying for a nanny position. So I'm starting with number one. This person came up with 3 things that made them uniquely qualified: certified, dependable, unique approach. Those were the 3 things. And those 3 things, they wove into their elevator speech. I'm a professional certified, you see number 1, certified nanny with evidence raising children of all ages. I'm currently in search of my next long-term opportunity to help a family raise their children. That again, I'm enthusiastic, organized, and dependable. Second word, dependable, you see that? The words that make you uniquely qualified, that's woven into that 30-second, that elevator thing we've been chatting about. Last sentence, I work best in a collaborative. Oh, there's that wonderful word, collaborative. Instead of I'm a team player, well, I work best in a collaborative family environment where I can make myself indispensable to the parents and grow alongside their household. There's the unique approach. I'm going to be indispensable to you. You're not going to be, your family will be wonderful. They'll be maybe made TV stars because you have such a great family. Just kidding there, but indispensable, grow alongside their household. That's what parents would certainly want for their children. So that was a great elevator speech. And then during the interview, the parents are asking this nanny questions. Why are you looking for a new opportunity? And the nanny says, I've been working with my current family over 7 years. While I love the children, enjoy family, the challenges of a long commute and irregular hours impacted my quality of life. I'm simply looking to regain personal and professional balance. All right, there's nothing wrong with saying I had to drive 2 hours and it got to be too much for me, threw off my work-life balance. That's really what it is. And that's a good answer if it's appropriate. It could be I'm transitioning from part-time, I need full-time, nothing wrong with that. And then the closing statement, and closing statements are very important because that's what people remember. They may not remember that elevator speech, everything you said in the elevator speech, but your last thing you say, that's what's going to be their last impression of you when you walk out the door after the interview. Ms. Jones, thank you for considering me for this position. I'm not only interested, but I think I'm a great fit. I realize you're considering 3 other candidates. So here's what I want you to remember about me. Makes you uniquely qualified, and went back to I'm certified, I'm dependable, and I come with a unique approach. Thank you, goodbye. That's a great closing statement right there. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. And I think Ron, oh no, go ahead. One or 2 more slides I will help you with. Next slide. Ron spoke about this. Information gathering is critical. That little red circle, it'll help you with preparing, getting all your information correct, doing your power statements, doing your situation, action, result type questions ahead of time. It's going to help you when you interview. It's going to help you with your summary statement, your resume, a lot of things. Tell me about yourself. That's a situation, action, result, and providing answers to interview questions. You don't want to wait until 5 minutes before you have an interview to start thinking, how am I going to interview? You have to practice this. Repetition and practice are critical. You may be nervous at the beginning, but nervousness goes away the more you practice. Next. All right, good news. Well, you listened to Ron and myself, and now you have an interview scheduled. So what do? This is what you've been working for. That's why you did the resume. That's why you sat through this workshop. That's why you practiced and practiced and practiced to get good at marketing. We're talking about marketing here. So you have an interview, be on time, prepared. How does prepared is just practice. You can't be prepared unless you practice. So be prepared, practice, the word should come after that. Be positive and confident. And again, where does confidence come from? Practice. It comes from practice. That's how you gain confidence. Just like a golf person or somebody that plays basketball, they swing that club a lot of times in golf to get their confidence, to get better at it. This is the same thing. Dress for success, dress appropriately, even dress above what the level of the position may be. Not a bad thing. It shows the employer, even if you're on Zoom, shows the employer that, yeah, you're serious about it. You didn't come in some cutoffs and some old work type shirt. Speak clearly, enunciate, don't slur your words, common sense, be succinct. That means be concise, don't be wordy, don't start going on tangents, telling them about things that are totally irrelevant, and be respectful of your contact's time. Be aware they might have 45 minutes scheduled. You don't want to run it an hour and a half. So that's about all I have to cover. And Rhonda, I think you're up again.
Well, I
Yes.
think Paul's going to close us out today.
Oh, he is. Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
No worries. So just a quick reminder about the Job Assistance Program. So if you like what you heard through this presentation, we offer a lot more than just workshop presentations. Just to reiterate, we do offer one-on-one individualized job coaching. We do resumes and cover letters. We have those assessments that can help you assess your skills and abilities. Again, everything is free to PRC clients. And if you live in DuPage County, you can become a PRC client for free as well. So if you are interested, the best way to get in touch with us is to dial the 630-682-5402 extension 333. You leave a voicemail on that extension and somebody from PRC will call you back, usually within 24 hours, to get you registered for the next orientation. If you want to see what else we have going on, you can go to the peoplesrc.org, go to services, list all our different services. You can go to job assistance and learn more about what we do. Right now, if you do go to job assistance, we are promoting our career fair at the Wheaton Public Library, which is on March 10th. So we have lots of diverse employers showing up. So if you are interested in meeting some employers in person and kind of skipping the whole applying through online, this is a great way to practice your elevator pitch and your SAR statements that we talked about today. Plus, it's just better to talk to people in person. So I'd highly recommend you go check out the information on our career fair, and you can register there as well. Talked about that. So yeah, if we have any questions, now is the time to ask away.
Thank you, Paul, Rhonda, and Charles. I just wanted to add quickly some of those websites Rhonda I was talking about can be accessed through the Downers Grove career help page. So we have gathered a lot of those, many on the recommendation of the PRC into one place. So it's a good webpage to check out.
That's a great resource, Karen. Thank you.
So this is Irene.
Irene.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. It was very good.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So if I'm putting together a resume and I want someone to look it over, is that something that you would be able to help me out with?
Yep. We have Rhonda's one of our resume writers. We actually have a whole team that can either look over the resume that you already have. We can make recommendations. We can tweak it. We can I think the big thing is the formatting piece, because the
Mhm.
applicant tracking system is like really finicky. So we can make sure that the formatting is correct. And a lot of it is like, it has to be like a very basic, like Calibri or Times New Roman, like the formatting, there can't be any colors or lines. So we can look all over that and make sure that it is, it looks plain and would get through the applicant tracking system.
Great, great. And so I would call, leave a message, and then someone would call me back to
Yep.
registered.
Yep, you can do this, or you can even go, if you just go to our website, under services and job assistance, there's actually a link to an interest form, and you can fill that out too, and that goes to the same person, so they'll call you back whether you call that number or fill out the interest form online.
Okay, great. All right, thank you.
Sure, no problem. We look forward to having you join us.
Thanks.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Karen. We really appreciate it, and we will, I guess, see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Karen, and all the attenders. Hope you obtained some thoughts, to think about going forward in your job search.
I'm sorry, are we able to get a copy of the slides?
Yeah, I can send
Oh.
something out.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll send you an email, Karen. You can send it out to the people that registered.
And I do send a link to the recording once it's edited out to everybody who registered. And it will be on our virtual program page. So
Wonderful, thank you.
you're very welcome. Thanks for attending.